What's up, this is Jake with Hike 734, hiking the north rim of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. And this trail starts out over by the Chittenden Bridge, runs along the canyon, crossing a couple roads, and finally ends up over at Inspiration Point. And I decided to hike the whole thing starting over at Wapiti Trailhead and crossed over the Chittenden Bridge. And it is just awesome. The Yellowstone River is fantastic. I am a big fan. And it goes into the trees and it actually goes onto an old road. And this is an old road that used to follow the Grand Canyon, at least for the beginning. And you come to Canyon Bridge, which is now just a cool walking bridge. And just walked across that guy. Gives you really cool views of the river and just these amazing rocks with trees growing out. I'm sitting right in the middle of the water. And then from there, worked my way over to the brink of the upper falls. And that is a little spur trail that just drops down right at the very edge of the waterfall there, the upper falls, and it is awesome. It is so cool to be right at the edge of it. And while you probably get an overall better view of upper falls from the south rim, seeing it that close is fantastic, and you just look straight down on it. Anyways, super great. Then from there you hop up onto this parking lot area, and then you'll walk the road for a little bit, and then you'll drop back into the trees on the North Rim Trail, and now you're really on a trail. The next thing you come across is an overlook for Crystal Falls, which is Cascade Creek plummeting a couple hundred feet, and really cool little fall. I actually saw this with my wife Kristen earlier this year, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference between May and late August. And anyway, yeah, so then you work your way back onto the trail and continue on and go over Cascade Creek there, which creates the falls, and get kind of a cool, unique look. And then continue on. And yeah, from there you'll get a couple little glimpses of upper falls, and eventually you'll get a glimpse of lower falls, just the brink of that, which is really cool. And you'll come to the trail junction there, and definitely take that. It's pretty, there's a lot of switchbacks to work your way down to the bottom of that, but man, is it something else. If you thought the upper falls was awesome, you really need to check out the lower falls. And honestly, I would do it in that order so you can go ahead and just kind of have the anticipation build up. But it's just awesome to see just the power of the water and the wind, and the spray creates little tiny waterfalls on the opposite wall, and saw ospreys. It's just a really amazing place. And I recommend putting your camera away and just enjoying it for a little bit and just being there, because sometimes it's really easy to take a picture and go, wow, that's amazing, and then move on. But anyways, you come back up to the top of that, and from there you actually have a little tiny view of the top of Upper Falls, which is kind of a fun little bonus. And then you'll traverse across to an overlook, really paved kind of area, and it gives you some fun views of this is really the top of the Grand Canyon here, and it is just great. Sometimes I think the waterfall overshadows this area, but just the red rock and the yellow rock and the just cool formations and everything, it's great. It's super awesome. And then from there, then you'll go ahead and duck into the trees, and yeah, you're on the trees for just a little bit, and you travel along the rim, and there's just kind of really limited views along this stretch. And then you're gonna go ahead and come to the parking lot for Lookout Point, and from here you just take the paved path, and it's a really short walk to Lookout Point. And on the north rim, it's probably one of the only places to get a really great look at the falls, the whole thing. And then there's also another trail called the Red Rock Trail, which drops about 500 feet in 3/8 of a mile, so it's definitely steep, but it gives you another really cool view of it. The same thing, you get to see the whole falls, so that's definitely cool if you want to go ahead and put forth the effort. I think it's worth it. And anyways, hop back up on that, and then from there you travel along the canyon once again, kind of going in trees. Limited views. Every once in a while you kind of pop out and can see a little bit of the canyon, but finally you get to Grand View, and I really love Grand View. It's not for the waterfalls because you really don't get you don't really get to see it, but you just get a really good look at the river down below and just the rocks, and then from there, when you travel along the north rim continuing, it's super, super cool. And when you get past the kind of real populated areas like that, what ends up happening is that you are able to really see stuff without a bunch of barriers. But be very careful, because my goodness, this rock is terrible, and it all is rounded slope to death. And so you want to be really careful. And then from there, after that, it just kind of goes into the trees as you work your way in and just through a bunch of trees on your way to Inspiration Point. And finally you get to Inspiration Point, and the problem with Inspiration Point is that back in 1975 there was a big earthquake that knocked off a big chunk of the overlook. So you get to see some cool views. Actually, one view that looks downriver is actually, I really liked it. It was a really cool look. But other than that, just it's kind of really limited because it's you know, been really truncated. But a couple of different notes. One of them is I really like the way that I did it from Chittenden Bridge going downstream. I think overall you'll end up getting, it just kind of builds. I don't know, it's just really a cool way to do it. And you can do a lot of these looks and just the little tiny short hikes from a car, but of course I'm a trail guy, and I think that you get to see just those extra little tiny things along the way. So I definitely recommend doing it. The whole trail itself is 3 miles, not counting the little tiny side trails. So that gives you any idea. Also, anytime you get to a road, just keep walking the road until you see a sign that says, hey, here's the North Rim Trail again, because you kind of hop on and off the road there. But overall, North Rim, super great. It's like the South Rim. You got to do it when you're here. It definitely gets busy, especially in the parking lot areas and those hikes that go down, but it's totally worth it because these waterfalls and these canyons are just ridiculous. So anyways, I'm Jake with Hike 734, hiking the North Rim of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone in Yellowstone National Park. If you like this video, subscribe on YouTube and head over to hike734.com for more goodness.